Chris Clark, President and CEO of the Queen Creek Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to Meet the Candidate. Today we're joined by Leah Martineau. Welcome, Leah.
Thank you very much for having me.
Tell us a little bit about you.
All right. My name's Leah Martineau, obviously, and I am married with 3 kids. And we've been out here in Queen Creek now for 4 years. But I know sometimes that kind of alarms people, like that's not long enough to be out here. But I grew up not too far from here. I grew up in Gilbert. Born in Wrightwell, born in Mesa, but raised there in Gilbert. So kind of the same thing. My parents bought some property there when I was little and thought it was in the middle of nowhere at the time. And so I literally have watched Gilbert become what it is today as well. So kind of similar story here in Queen Creek as well. So, but native to Arizona, love the valley and love it here.
And you mentioned before you're a teacher?
Yes. So I'm a teacher and I teach at East Valley High School. I teach seniors, some juniors as well. I teach the U.S. government course in economics, and then I'm also going to be doing the leadership course this coming year. So I'm really excited about that. Before that, I was actually teaching kindergarten and first grade, so quite the big jump in some ways, not in all ways. But anyway, so I've been teaching for, this is my 6th year doing it, but then before that I was also a preschool teacher. So I've been all over doing all sorts of things and just loving that. So.
Good.
Yep.
You mentioned being here in Queen Creek for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing in the community? Are you part of any of the groups?
Yes. So as far as some things that I'm pretty passionate about here is I help with an organization called OUR Rescue. I don't know if you've heard of that. No? Have you not heard of that one?
Let's say that again slowly.
It's OUR Rescue, Operation Underground Railroad. And it's an organization, it's actually, they're based out in Utah, but they have volunteers and groups everywhere helping. But it's an organization that actually helps with human trafficking, which is, it's a real issue here.
It's a big problem.
Especially being here in Arizona, here and sadly. So I've been helping with that. I'm the lead volunteer specialist for this area. And so things, we do is obviously fundraising so they can go and rescue actually children from human trafficking. So it's fundraising to help pay for these missions for them to go in and do that all over the world. They don't just do it here in Arizona and the United States. They go to different countries and rescue these children. But we also do awareness events to help teach people about what human trafficking is and also things that can lead up to it. So a lot of social media, sadly, is a big platform for things like that, teens. So we try to help teach parents and teens. It's really hard to keep up with social media if you're a parent. Mm-hmm. And so just bringing in people that are experts in this area and law enforcement and can help teach the, parents and teens the safety and precautions of using social media. So those are a few things that we do or that I do with that organization that's near and dear to my heart that I love being a part of. So.
Good.
Yeah.
Sounds like an important organization.
Yeah, that's great.
Anything else here in town?
No,
that would keep you very busy.
Yeah, that does, and teaching, and obviously, being a mom. I'm very active in my church as well. So just doing the things, having the service opportunities that I have with my church organization, So that's I try to go to a lot of also town council meetings and even down at the Capitol. So I've been pretty involved with just the political side of things. And staying on top of that and the lawmakers here in Arizona. So I'm a PC for LD12, a precinct committeeman for LD12, our district. And so I attend, meetings for that and just try to be very much involved and help people understand what's going on and connecting with those who, depending on whatever their issue might be, what they're passionate about, maybe it's education, or whatever it be. Obviously education would be one of mine as well, very involved with that. So I think that's, about it.
Good. You're running for town council.
Yeah.
What are the issues that you see and how did you come to make that decision?
Yes, very good question. It was definitely months of thinking and when I realized there was going to be an open seat with this go around, And just, my husband jokingly was like, you already go to all the meetings anyways, might as well kind of put yourself out there a little bit more. So my husband was a huge support and kind of pushing me into doing this. But really, I just believe so much in being involved with your community. Your community is what we make it. And so I just really wanted to be, help keep really our town of Queen Creek's an amazing place to live. And our current council is actually doing a great job. I mean, with the growth that we've had from, just 10 years ago to where we are today, and trying to keep up with things, they've done a great job at moving forward with roads and bringing in all the amazing small businesses that we have out here. So I just want to keep that going. I want to keep that momentum going and keep this community growing and thriving as it is. So that's kind of really the big push, just to help serve in our community here.
One of the big issues that we hear most about is transportation, of course.
Yeah.
As you're growing a community up out of the ground,
Yes.
Everything has to be built.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the town's transportation plan, and how do you see that going over the next few years?
Yes, actually, they really have been doing a great job. It's not a cheap process as well, but I've been very impressed with, the plans that they've put forth and the way they're doing it. It's tricky, it's hard, because we grew a lot faster than, we were able to keep up with roads, but I have been impressed with them not wasting any time at keeping up and connecting, more roads and expanding more. I'm excited for the freeway to be built out here and to kind of finish up coming out this way to help with our Santan neighbors as well. So I really do think they're doing a great job, and so I'd love to be a part of that, keeping this momentum going and letting that be, along with public safety, top priority for town of Queen Creek.
You mentioned the freeway, so of course the 24 going from Ellsworth to Ironwood.
Yeah.
And then we'll have some north-south connectors.
Yes.
Some of those were done with an intergovernmental agreement. What do you think about those types of arrangements?
Yeah, I think it's important because we did have to work together also with other, neighboring, Mesa and whatnot. So it is important to kind of come together, work together, and realize, okay, what's going to be best for all of our cities and towns in the long run, and then also, planning how it's going to all unfold, and then hoping to make it so that then the private sector will be able to come in and we can get the businesses, developers, whatever we need to continue making that area, look and maintain and continue to kind of how we're headed. So I think it's important for us all to really work together to make it doable and for us all to agree on how things are done. So.
You mentioned having businesses come in.
Yeah.
A large part of that is the general plan.
Mm-hmm.
And Queen Creek has a general plan that specifies where things go. How do you see the general plan in Queen Creek, and what are your views on general plan amendments and things like that?
I think, really so far, like I said, I really agree with how it's going. We have brought so many amazing businesses out to Queen Creek, which I'm thankful for. Living out here, obviously it makes it nice and convenient, and not only that, it gives opportunity for jobs and for people that want to start their own business. What a great opportunity! What a great place to do that than out here when things are fresh and developing. So I think that the balance has been, pretty well done as far as we've got our development of residents and homes being built, and then also leaving space for these businesses to come in and for people to be able to start. And there's a lot of startups, and there's also ones that are that have come from the private sector to come in here. So I love it. I want to keep going with that and letting make it an easy process for people to come in here that want to start a company or bring theirs to Queen Creek. I welcome that and hope to help keep mainstreaming that so that it's an easy process for them to do so.
You mentioned the new residents and
Mm-hmm.
families in
Mm-hmm.
particular.
Mm-hmm.
Queen Creek also has a parks plan. Of course, we've seen Founders Park and Desert Mountain, and then recently Mansell Carter. How do you view the parks plan, and what do you think you might vote on going forward?
Yes, we have some really amazing parks here, and they're beautiful. I do appreciate the cautiousness that they have used going forward. I know that they've had to scale things back a little bit according to budget and whatnot, and I agree with that. I believe that, you know, having parks in these nice places to take your families is an important part of the community, and people do want that. And I do as well. I just believe in doing it in a way that's, you know, fiscally more responsible, so that we can take care of those top priorities first, and then let other things kind of fall into place as far as, you know, parks and whatnot. But I do appreciate that they've been I watched the process, especially with this last park that's been built. You know, there was a lot of, you know, they took their time to really, okay, what do we need? What do we want to do here? We're going to change. And so watching, you know, town staff and the council work together on that, I thought they did a really great job at coming together and, okay, this is what we want. And I think that turned out beautifully, so.
So East Park would be next under most categories. And so you mentioned top priorities. So how do you see that fitting in? Like, what are the top priorities, and what about the parks plan going forward?
Yeah, top priorities for me are, you know, roads and public safety. You know, there was currently a survey that was actually given to people here in Queen Creek, and roads was number one concern. That's what everyone mostly was talking about, was roads. So I agree with that. We really do need to make sure I think we're doing that. So I think that's great. So I want to continue. You know, right now they're finalizing the budget, and they are putting most of our budget into transportation, which is great. And then of course now with exciting news of starting our own police department here in Queen Creek, which I do support and am very excited for. When I first heard that was, you know, they were wanting to do that, I reached out to several people, some law enforcement, and to really see, are we there yet? Is our town there yet? And I believe we are. We're hitting the numbers where it'll be a really good thing for our community. So I know that's also going to take, you know, some of our budget. You know, it's a big commitment to do. So those are my two top priorities. And then, yeah, I mean, I would love to continue to see some beautiful parks put into place. Like I said, I err more on the, you know, conservative side of things. And I think it can be done. I think it's proven to be done, that, you know, we don't need, you know, crazy bells and whistles to have an amazing park. And I think what we've done so far has been great. So I would love to see, you know, obviously some money go towards that, but I would like to do it within reason and be responsible with our taxpayers' dollars as well.
You mentioned public safety. Queen Creek starting its police department, and then of course our fire department, which we started about 10 years ago. And so we need more fire stations. How do you see the fire stations? And sounds like you're very much in support of the police department. But how do you see that all coming together? What needs to be done? Same. I obviously very much supportive of what we're doing. I know that there's already we already have some more in the works for fire stations to be built, and they're, I think, very appropriately located in areas so that we're covering Queen Creek very well. So I think we're doing a great job there and moving forward and making sure that our citizens here are going to be safe. And so what I've seen so far, they've just been amazing to work with, and just very responsive. I've heard nothing but great things about our local fire department and the chief and all those working. So I'm grateful for that, and excited to see it, you know, grow where it needs to grow. And anyway, so I think it's going great. So it's good. Good. We do have several fire stations that are in the works, and we'll probably need a few more during the next 4 years. So sounds like you'll be in favor of those when the time comes, if you're on council. What else do you see as needs in the community? Is there anything that we haven't touched on yet?
No, I think good question. I just, I love the community feel here, and I'd like to, hopefully do our best to keep that as we grow. I know it sometimes seems to be a little bit harder, but I love that we do, a few events throughout the year. I would love to see a lot, a few more maybe of those types of things to bring the community together. I'd love to maybe get some sponsors so that we can continue doing that. Finding different ways and listening to what some of the, people who live here would like, whether it be with small kids or, maybe a little older kids, whatever it be, just kind of listening. I used to previously, before I moved out here, also be on my HOA board. And so we did plan some community events, movie at the park and an Easter gathering and things like that. So I do like even when communities do that, neighborhoods do things like that. So I would love to encourage, communities to do so. And then just to keep that feel so that we feel connected. Right now it's kind of a hard environment out there. And I would love just to have that peace and healing, stay in Queen Creek and be an example to the rest of this nation that we can be strong as a community, and therefore I believe will help our nation as well. So just keeping it, keep going with that and building up these, businesses and families and just keeping those strong. That's what, and keep our community going strong. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you coming in. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and good luck with the election.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.